Yo, 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 what's happening? Nico here. Hey, today I would like to share a story with you and share my takeaway from this story. This story takes place back in thousands of years ago, we'll say. And it's a story that I read, not something that I came up with. In this story, we have a king. We'll call him King A. King A wants to conquer a new territory, a new land. But he knows he doesn't have enough resources to do it. So he approaches King B. And he asks King B if King B would enter into a partnership with him to go conquer this other land. King A sends over gifts, sends over the request to King B. King B says, you know what, I'll entertain the idea. Let's discuss it some more. King A travels out to go meet up with King B to negotiate and then hopefully convince King B to join him in this venture. After a little bit of time of them having negotiations, King B tells King A, okay, I'll enter into this agreement with you. King A says, great, I'm glad that you're willing to do it. But let's go ahead and consult God. Now, King A had a belief system in one God. King B had a belief system in multiple gods. So King B says, all right, no problem. Let's consult God. So King B calls out his prophets. In this time, they had individuals who represented their gods. 400 prophets come to King B. And these 400 prophets, when asked, should we go and conquer this people? Yes, king. You'll be prosperous. You'll get all kinds of plunder. Go for it. Go for it. You know, they have all the rituals of how they got this answer. King A says, okay, you asked your prophets. By chance, do you have any prophets of my God here in your land? King B tells him, I do. But you know what? That prophet never tells me anything I like to hear. King A says, okay, I would still like to hear from him. Is it okay if we consult him as well? King B says, fine, have it your way. He instructs for this prophet to be brought over. The story goes that as the prophet is being brought over to these two kings to present himself, the messenger that went to go get him is kind of hinting to him like, hey, there's 400 prophets over there. And they all said one thing. Make sure that you line up with that. In this story, this prophet who's being escorted back to the kingdom, he's like, yeah. You could tell it's kind of sarcastic. Sure, I'll do what you say. It's not like this guy actually listens to me, is what the prophet is kind of suggesting. But if that's what you guys called me down here for, then yeah, sure. I'll just say whatever you guys want me to say. So this one prophet is now standing in front of 400 other prophets and these two kings. King B tells him, you know what, you're in my land, so you're considered my prophet. What does the Lord that you follow, the God that you follow, say about this? And this prophet sarcastically, he says, go do it. You'll be fine. You'll be great. This King B tells him, the book says that he sharply corrected the prophet. And he sharply corrected the prophet and said, hey, I know that you're not telling me what your God says right now. I know that you're just telling me what you want me to hear. I instruct you to tell me exactly what your God is saying. This prophet laughs and he says, fine, I'll tell you what my God says. If you go out into this venture, you're not going to make it back alive. That's what my God says. Of course, King B doesn't like that answer. So he tells King A, you see, that's why I don't listen to this guy. He never tells me anything that I like. And King A, he just, in my head, I visualize him smiling and being like, that might be the one that you want to listen to. They each had their own belief systems, and you could have your own belief system as well. Eventually, at the end of this story, King B decides to listen to the 400 prophets. He goes out to this venture of this conquest and gets into a battle. And it says that in this battle, they couldn't really pinpoint where the king was at, so one of the enemies just started firing off arrows into the battlefield. And it struck King B in between his armor. They take him off the battlefield. They put him up on this, in my head, they put him up on this hill underneath the tree. And they say that he's sitting there in his chariot, wounded, just kind of watching the battle happen. And he goes off into death, basically. He dies. Now, that's the story that I read. As I read this story, I was really intrigued because, you see, there's two parts that I took from it. One part, we have inside of us what we know is the right answer. We know where to get the right consulting. But a lot of the times we choose we don't like that answer, so we go to try to find another one. In this situation, the king knew that this one prophet was going to tell him something that was true, but that he didn't like. Whereas these other 400 were telling him lies and just filling his ego, and he liked that. You have the answer inside of you of the change that you need to make in your life. You know the decisions. Stop seeking the 400, 500 people who really don't care about you and using their validation as your reasoning to go. The answer that the king was looking for, he knew was going to be delivered by that one person, and he knew he didn't like it. He also knew he had the answer inside of him. He knew he shouldn't have entered into that venture. Inside of you, inside of your journey, you know the answer. You know you're not supposed to be using. You know you're not supposed to be drinking. Are you going to seek people who are just going to feed your ego? Or are you going to seek people who are going to give you an honest answer? My recommendation, take the truth, even when it hurts.